224 Valkyrie, suppressors and barrel harmonics, and out-of-the-box competition pistols. This week on Mail Call Mondays. Mail Call Mondays is sponsored by Modular Driven Technologies. If you need a chassis system for your precision rifle, check out mdttac.com. I'm John McQuay with 8541 Tactical, and this is Mail Call Mondays, the show that answers your questions about precision rifles, optics, and equipment. Welcome to another Mail Call Mondays, and this Monday we're going to start off with some new information about Federal's new cartridge, the 224 Valkyrie. Now, Federal has been leaking information out about this cartridge, and what really kind of piqued our interest is it is designed right from the start as a cartridge to fit in an AR-15 platform that has the ability to remain supersonic out to 1,300 yards. Now, we've seen all kinds of claims from cartridges like the 22 Nosler and a bunch of these other cartridges that are designed to fit in AR-15s and still give us long-range performance, but a lot of them have just kind of fallen flat when it comes right down to it. Now, the 224 Valkyrie looks like it is really more targeted towards the long-range precision shooter, although they are going to offer some hunting-oriented and some varmint-oriented bullets as well. Now, the initial offering from Federal Premium Ammunition that we are interested in is the 90 grain Match King load. So they are running a 90 grain Sierra Match King, and they are claiming that you will stay supersonic to 1,300 yards with that 90 grain Match King. And really, that's starting to nip at 6.5 Creedmoor ballistics. So if this holds true, and if we are able to get some good performance out of that 90 grain Match King in the 224 Valkyrie, then it really may be an interesting option for PRS gas gun type competition or any of the other long-range gas gun competitions, because now we'll be able to build a more compact, lighter weight rifle to thread through those barricades and move around with that still has long-range, downrange performance. So I'm really going to be interested to see, once barrels are available for these rifles, how well they do. Now, LaRue Tactical has a rifle already available for it. I'm sure that Savage will have their MSR rifles available in the 224 Valkyrie really soon, but since we have quite a few AR-15s already laying around, I don't really care to go buy a whole new platform. I really just want to be able to swap out the barrel and convert one of the rifles that we already have to the new cartridge. Now, it's really going to be interesting to see how the 224 Valkyrie fares against the 6.5 Grendel. We haven't had a lot of time to sit down and start to punch in the ballistics in the computer and compare them towards our favorite 6.5 Creedmoor loads and our favorite 6.5 Grendel load and figure out where the 224 Valkyrie fits. But I am kind of excited about it. Usually I don't get gaga over new cartridges and Wildcats and stuff like this, but this is a cartridge that comes right out of the gate as a factory supported cartridge by one of the largest ammunition manufacturers out there. So again, it'll be really interesting to see where this goes, but I'd like to hear what you guys think about it. Are you interested in the 224 Valkyrie? Is it something that you're saving your pennies on to pick up? Is it something that you want to see for hunting or for competition or for varmint shooting? I really kind of want to see where you guys think this cartridge fits. So make sure you drop a comment down below and let us know what you think. Next thing I want to talk about this week is YouTube has kind of pulled a fast one on us. You guys that have been watching the show for quite some time know I try to keep the show family friendly. I try to make sure that we are not dropping the F-bombs, we're not using foul language. I really want to keep this show family oriented so that you can watch it in your living room and have your kids wandering around and not be bothered by anything that comes out of my mouth. Apparently, we haven't gone far enough because YouTube has started flagging some of our videos as not suitable for all advertisers. Now, what that means for us is that they will not run some of the higher priced, higher return ads on our videos because now we're starting to get on the fringe. They're worried about our content may offend some of their advertisers, and those advertisers will in turn pull their marketing dollars from YouTube. I think that it is really not a good trend that we're going on, but YouTube is owned by Google, and they are a pretty liberal company, not a Second Amendment company by any means. They are not Second Amendment friendly. So there are a couple of steps that we have been taking throughout this year to try to minimize the impact that we receive from YouTube yanking the advertising revenue. And I know a lot of you guys don't like hearing the financial side of things, but the reality is the equipment that we use to shoot this, the lighting, the cameras, the editing equipment, it all costs a considerable amount of money. So we have to have some income to be able to keep up with that, replace things as they wear out, upgrade things as they burn up, that kind of thing. So we do have to stay ahead of that curve, and a couple of the things that we have done. First of all, we have started publishing videos on Full30. Those of you guys that don't know what Full30 is, a bunch of Second Amendment YouTubers came together and they were really upset about how YouTube have been treating them, and they decided that they could build a Second Amendment friendly video platform, and they launched Full30.com. Full30 is not a fully open platform like YouTube is, so not everybody can go start a video channel on Full30, but everyone can go register on Full30 and watch videos. And Full30 has the same kind of advertising model that YouTube does. They run ads, but they are more Second Amendment friendly ads. So you'll see car and truck ads and rifle ads and ammunition ads and hunting ads and all that kind of stuff on Full30. And that in turn breaks down to creators. We get revenue based upon those ads that are shown on Full30. So the nice thing about Full30 is if I come out on a specific stance on some legislation that's out there, or I want to talk about bump fire stocks or something of that nature, I don't need to worry about Full30 pulling my video because even though it doesn't violate terms of service, they may think it's not advertiser friendly. That's not going to be an issue with Full30. The drawback, of course, is we don't have as huge of an audience on Full30 as we do on YouTube, and that's where I need your help. So I need you guys to go over to Full30 and check out what's going on there. If you like it, if you like the videos and like the content, please go ahead and register for an account and subscribe to our channel, and anytime we put something new out on Full30, you'll get notified, and you'll get notified of other new videos for other creators that you enjoy. We don't put Mail Call Mondays on Full30 yet, but if you guys really want, we may change that in the future. But anytime we do a new review, we're posting that to Full30 as well. So our higher end content we're putting up there as well as here, and we may eventually transition over to Full30 full-time. That I don't know yet. That's way in the future. But as YouTube keeps going, it keeps getting harder and harder for us to justify putting Second Amendment content on YouTube. We're not ready to jump ship just yet, but it is very irritating when you see your hard work all of a sudden flagged because someone doesn't agree with one of our constitutional rights. So that's where we're going with that. One of the other things that we have been doing to try to minimize this is we started a Patreon account. A lot of you guys requested that we get on Patreon, so we have. For those of you that don't know what Patreon is, I'm not going to go into a great long spiel, but we will leave a link down below. It is basically a way for you to help support the content that you consume and the content that you love. We also offer a few extra benefits on Patreon, but again, if you want to see all the benefits, go ahead and check out our Patreon page at the link down below. And next, we did produce a dope card video. If you guys haven't seen it, a lot of you have asked how we manage our rifle data out in the field and rifle data at matches, and we put up a really quick video. If you don't want to spend the money on one of the pre-made dope card holders, how you can attach a dope card to the side of your rifle. And you guys gave us a lot of tips and tricks that you use with that kind of system, and one that we got time and time again was Write in Rain paper. And I didn't even think about this until after we shot the video and uploaded it, but Write in Rain makes small notebooks. I don't have one sitting here, but they make small spiral bound notebooks that are about the size of an index card. And it will be really easy to carry one of these notebooks out in the field. Write your dope down on the notebook so you don't even have to carry a clipboard for use with index cards. Write your information down on that, binder clip it to the gear tie wrapped around your scope, and now you have a weather resistant card already up there that you can quickly make in the field. So great suggestion for you guys that commented on the video. Write and rain paper is probably something that I will be trying going forward on that budget DIY dope card holder, and we will leave a link to that video so that you guys can go check that out. Now let's go ahead and get on with our questions, and our first question comes from Gregory, and Gregory asks, how does suppressor weight and harmonics affect accuracy? Well, Greg, that's a great question, and really, anytime you add any weight to the barrel of your rifle, you are affecting the harmonics of the barrel. Now, if that harmonic will have an effect that you can see downrange on the accuracy at your target, that depends on a huge number of factors: bullet weight, powder charge, how the rifle barrel is bedded into the stock, if it's free floated or if it has a pressure pad. There are a huge number of factors that go into that. But anytime you add mass to your barrel or remove mass from your barrel, so anytime you change the mass of the barrel, you will change the harmonic frequency that that barrel vibrates. Sometimes we will see a barrel that is a little erratic, that will group not the greatest in the world. When we put a suppressor on it, very often we'll see that group tighten up. And the only thing I can attribute that to is the harmonics. It's acting as a bit of a damper on the end of the barrel and calming those vibrations down a little bit. And we've seen that time and time again. Barrels that maybe don't shoot really all that well, and we're talking about some lighter profile barrels, Senderos, number 13, somewhere in that area, that putting a suppressor on them will calm them down just a little bit and allow you to group just a little bit better. But it's something I really encourage you guys to go out and experiment with because it has different effects on different rifles, and it doesn't work the same way every time. So it's kind of interesting in that aspect. Our next question comes from Joshua, and Joshua asks, talk about pistols. I know a lot of PRS matches have pistol parts of the competition. What pistols are good match pistols out of the box? Well, Joshua, I have not read what the PRS rules are on handguns as far as configurations, but I can tell you right out of the box, I really tend to favor Glocks. They work really well over a wide variety of ammunition. They work when they're wet, they work when they're dirty, they work when they're gritty. I have had the best results with Glocks. I carry a Glock on duty, I carry a Glock off duty, so I tend to gravitate towards Glocks for competition. Now the Glock that I have here in front of me, this is a Generation 5 Glock 17, and I'm running a Dawson Precision Ice Magwell on here and Dawson Precision sights. For those of you guys that have a Gen 5 and you're looking for accessories on it, the Dawson sights really look nice. I haven't even got them out to the range yet. They came in yesterday and I just got them on the pistol. They pick up very quickly. It's got a nice fiber optic front sight, and you can change it from green or red. It comes with the red fiber in it, and it has a really nice rear notch in it, and it has a narrower front sight, so it's a really nice sight picture, really quick to pick up. The package that I got, Dawson right now, and we're not sponsored by Dawson, we're not getting any endorsements from them or any money from them, but I just noticed when I went to purchase these sights on their website that they have a competition package for the Generation 5 Glocks that includes their Ice Magwell and 3 bumper pads for your magazines, and it's only a couple bucks more than just the sights themselves. So I went ahead and grabbed the Magwell as well. I've used Dawson Ice Magwells in the past, and it is really huge. This isn't one of these slick carry Magwells like you see from Agency or some of the other companies out there. This is a pure competition Magwell, and they have a replacement insert in them, so it's a Delrin insert. So when you constantly tear the insert up with your magazine lips and cartridges and that, eventually you can replace this insert and the Magwell stays in pristine condition. So that's kind of a really nice feature. It does have enough space in the back that you can put whatever backstrap you want on the gun, and it really is nice. Now it is silver. They don't have an option for black right now, and I wasn't really happy with that because I prefer to have a subdued look to my gun. But this is a competition handgun. That's really all I intend to do with this handgun. So having the silver magwell is not a big deal at all. And it is held on by just one screw here in the back and 2 screws in the bottom. So if you're going to run, like say I decide to take this to IDPA and run it in stock service pistol division where a magwell is illegal, it takes me less than 5 minutes to drop the magwell off of it before I head out to the range. But even though the Glock Gen 5s have a flared magwell already on them, the Dawson improves that by 200%. I mean, it is a really, really huge mag funnel down here, and it really does make inserting your mag very quick and very easy. You can almost throw the magazine at it and it goes in. But even without those additions, I find that the Glock handguns are a really great option. Now, the Glock Gen 5s, and I'm going to do a whole video over the Gen 5 itself, I think they're an improvement over the Gen 4. The trigger is greatly improved on them. This has a complete factory trigger end. I haven't replaced the connector. I haven't done anything to it. And the trigger in the Gen 5 feels lighter weight than the Gen 4 by a considerable margin. It's enough that I haven't really felt the need to go out and buy a minus connector or anything for this trigger right off the bat. So they have improved that. There's some other improvements to it that I don't know really make a difference at all. The magwell was kind of nice, but of course that means none of the magwells that are available for Glocks previously, so Gen 4 and earlier, will fit this one. So I would definitely recommend looking at the Glocks, but the Smith & Wesson M&Ps are an option. There are a lot of guys that like the HKs, although HKs, parts and magazines, etc. for them are a little bit more expensive and a little bit harder to find. Both with the Smith & Wesson M&Ps and the Glock pistols, you can get a huge assortment of internal parts should you decide to swap out the triggers, should you decide to swap out the parts, safeties, levers, all this stuff. So I would definitely recommend looking at the Glocks and looking at the Smith & Wesson M&Ps for a relatively cost-effective, straight out of the box competition gun. So I hope that answers your question on that. And our next question comes from Todd, and Todd asks, is it possible to get your opinion on the Remington 597 HB? Well, Todd, when you sent me the question, I jumped into Remington's website and I looked at it because I've never actually shot the 597. I think I've looked at them in passing, but the issue with the Remington 597 is it does not have anywhere near as many aftermarket parts as the Ruger 1022. And you're working in a very similar price range. So if you don't have a rifle and you're looking at a Ruger 1022 or the Remington 597, I would really recommend you go with the Ruger 1022. Now, if you have a Remington 597, then I wouldn't really recommend that you go ditch that and buy a 1022 unless you really plan on swapping a lot of parts out. They appear to be a pretty accurate rifle from what I've been able to gather, but swapping out barrels is not going to be as easy as with the 1022. So if you have one of the lighter barrel versions, that's not really going to help you out. I know you specifically mentioned the heavy barrel version, but also stocks. You don't have as wide a variety of the stocks. And I haven't checked on Boyd's to see if Boyd makes a stock for it yet. That may be an option if you have a 597. Otherwise, you may have to go with a blank and inlet it for the 597. But really, right now, for semi-automatic rimfire rifles, the Ruger 1022 is the king. That's kind of why I picked one when I was looking for a semi-automatic 1022 that had room to grow that I could build up on. And you really can't argue with the price point of the 1022 carbine. It's a very low-cost rifle that you can then incrementally upgrade to basically the sky's the limit. You can upgrade everything on a 1022 up and including the receiver. So you can upgrade everything and then finally replace the receiver and the bolt in it, and you can have a 1022 that has not a single Ruger part left on it. So it is really one of the industry standards as far as semi-automatic 22s. So I would highly look into that if you have not purchased a rifle, but if you already have the 597 and it's shooting fine and it works, then I can't really tell you in good faith to go out and replace it with a 1022. So I hope that answers your question on that. And that is about it for this Mail Call Mondays. I want to thank you guys for watching, and for those of you who are Patreon supporters, thank you very much for supporting us. We just recently replaced some equipment in the office. I replaced my workstation with a standing desk. That was all due to your help. So now I'm able to actually work a little bit more efficiently, a little bit more comfortably, because honestly, for every minute of video that you see, I probably spend about 10 to 15 minutes actually processing it. So it takes a lot once we get done shooting this stuff in the studio here to take it back in the editing bay and actually turn it into something that is watchable on YouTube. So thank you guys for supporting us and helping us out and taking a little bit of the burden off of me that it takes to produce this video. For those of you guys that have questions on anything that we've covered on this Mail Call Mondays, you can leave a comment down in the comment section below or send it to us on Facebook or Twitter. If you're watching this on your favorite podcast app, you can send your questions to us at 8541tactical@gmail.com. If you like the video, please make sure you like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, get out and shoot.